I sit close to him.
Okay, everyone ready? Okay, I'll open the meeting tonight. Welcome everyone to Parish Council meeting 11th of October. Welcome Councillor Pennington. Pleasure to be here. Just one thing to remember, we are streaming and everyone can hear us, so best behaviour please. Apply to everyone. Have I ever not? Sorry?
You're switched on, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yeah. Okay, we'll open up. Apologies for absence.
Trevor Mills.
Trevor Mills has asked to be excused.
He's gone to a funeral.
Yeah, and we should be now voting to accept. So, yeah, everyone? Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Declarations of interest?
Yes, I'm not sure I've got any, but I'm going to declare an interest reference 109. I'm bordering it there, family business around there, so
Well,
I've got no idea.
you've got no financial interest in it, George. You don't make money or lose money, whatever happens there. So
Depends whether it rains or whatever. I don't know, so I declare an interest.
okay. Minutes of the last parish council meeting on the 28th of September. Assume everything's okay. We've not heard anything. Yep. Everyone okay? Yeah. Lovely. Public participation. Yep. Do you want to? Are you? I say other than that, you can take this.
You've got to speak in that mic.
Would you? If you're more comfortable, I'll let you have this down and sit over there. If you can just bring it back when you're done. It's a microphone.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is that right? Excellent. Right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Having reported previously that I'd got a response from Highways that a pothole I'd reported wasn't going to be done for the foreseeable future, it's been done. I shall thank them for doing so, but it does just demonstrate that by reporting potholes everywhere, not just out in the country, but in the village as well, it does bring results, because somebody must be listening.
Well, that's good to know.
Secondly, I look forward to hearing the feedback from the MP's visit. Is there some coming at some stage? Has he made any response?
There was going to be a phrase you put out. I think you were going to do it, Joe? Yeah.
Is that,
it will be coming.
is that of the meeting or his response to what he's doing?
Well, I think what was said at the meeting, what he said, the questions he was asked. Yeah.
I was waiting for, we were supposed to be getting, an update from him after the meeting, so I was going to try and do it in one fell swoop, because hopefully we would get some responses to that, but I don't know what the timescales are going to be for that.
Fine, okay.
So I'll just go ahead and just do a summary of what was discussed, and then we'll have to just do an update afterwards.
Fine, thank you. One last point, if I may. Item 109, the very well attended and conducted item about the industrial units, the last meeting, 2024 seems a long way away, having been in the background for the best part of a quarter of a century. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would like to see that brought forward and things started on the consultation or how the referendum or whatever you're hoping to be doing.
Totally understand what you're saying. We've actually only got 2 more meetings before 2024. One in November and one in December. And in that time, we've got to look at how we're going to put it to the public, whether it be a referendum or whether it be another method. So we've got to come to an agreement on that, and then we've got to look at timescale. So to be honest with you, 2024 is probably more realistic. But we'll do what we can.
I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Stone, just coming back to your highways.
Does anybody else want this? No? Right. Thank you.
Just to answer something about your highways, I've been in contact with them also, and I got speaking to a very nice supervisor or inspector called Neil, and long chat with him, He was talking about the roads at the moment due to the development in the village. He feels that to re-tarmac at the moment would be, pointless because of the heavy lorries that are coming through the village. Even though, that said, he turned around and said, even though our tarmac should be able to take the lorries. So it was a sort of an oxymoron, really. So that's where we're at with with regards to the village. I also brought up with him the state of some of the pavements, and I think my charm probably worked. Not very often it does, but some of the holes in the pavements have been filled. So I will, with the help of my wonderful partner who gets onto the computer and does all that for me, keep, like yourself, keep moaning, and it does work. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if there's anything that's dangerous, they will have to do something about those. But yeah.
Do you know the sizes? I was informed of the sizes. There is a specific size. Yeah, so the ones in the road are obviously bigger. So I think they're 50 mil by 20 mil. And the ones on the pavement, are 50 mil by 20 mil. So it's got to be more than 20 millimetres deep. So, and 50 millimetres wide, which actually isn't a lot.
It's got a sharp edge as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've sort of brought that up with them, and even so, yes, he sort of scratched his head with me a little bit on that one. But yes, I agree.
Thanks, Anne. Did you want to say something?
No, it was only about the MP, the feedback, because I only got feedback from them a couple of weeks ago via email, so it's obviously taken quite a long time for them to come back.
Okay. Clerk's report. Joe?
Yep, just a couple of things. The outstanding payment for the mast is going to be received at the beginning of November. I've not got any other details at the moment, but we should get money there. The annual payment for the mast is due in the first week in December, so that should take care of that for the year. We did have a site visit to Addison Homes site scheduled this week, but unfortunately that had to be cancelled due to unforeseen circumstances. So given where we are in the year, that probably isn't going to happen until 2024, I guess, but I'll let everyone know when we can reschedule that. Our police contact, the PCSO, contacted me about the delivery driver issue, and she is actually following it up. She doesn't believe that a crime has been committed, but she is going to just investigate a little bit and follow up with a couple of people that have reported. So that's all in hand. And she did supply some numbers for September. There was one crime reported for Buckland Brewer, very little information, just said public order incident, plus suspicious activity reported around the shop earlier in the month as well, and that's it. There've been a couple of reports of a hunt using Thornhill Head Moor at the weekend. Now, I don't know what the normal practice is. I've not heard of that before, but nobody actually approached for permission or anything like that. And a couple of parishioners have actually said that they were really concerned about using the moor while hounds were on there, especially with dogs. So had a couple of people come to me about that one. And the path has been cleared around by the amenity field, so thank you very much indeed to Keith and Wendy Berry for doing that for us. That looks much, much better, so that's a huge help. And I think everything else is on the agenda anyway. Oh, sorry, the website. I need to mention the website. We do have some problems with the website. I couldn't post anything to the website earlier. It keeps, we seem to have these intermittent problems with it and it just hangs. I do need to follow up some things with Wendy though, because I'm not sure I'm doing everything as I should. But we do have an issue with the contact the council link. It's really hit and miss. I had one contact from somebody last week through that route. But somebody had said they tried to contact me and I had not received anything and still haven't received anything from them. I tested it on Sunday, I think it was, and I still haven't received the email that I sent. So what I would say is if anybody is trying to contact the council, then please contact me directly through the Clark email or the telephone numbers that are published.
Okay.
I'll try and resolve that, but it's obviously not working at the moment.
George, you were going to say something about Thornhead Moor?
Oh yeah, yes, regarding the hunt on Thornhead Moor, the hunt have always said when they're meeting, when it comes through the village, meet the village or whatever, when in time immemorial, they've never mentioned or contacted the parish council, as long as I know, about up on the moor. So if the parish council think they require it to be informed when they're there, then I will send information to them for what to do, but it never has been done in the past.
Yeah. Be worthwhile though to stop them. People don't take their dogs up there walking on the day.
Because it's just that they contacted me and they weren't sure, and I wasn't sure. I spoke to Joe. I wasn't sure what the format was. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't know what they should and shouldn't do. They were a little bit scared with the dogs. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, could they not hear?
What does everyone think might be a good idea there? Just so that they let us know the days and we can put a note out.
I think it's polite.
Yeah, polite.
Just
That's reasonable, isn't
just
it?
let everybody, let people know.
I can pass that on.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Joe. Right, sound quality in meetings. Decision whether to purchase a standalone voice amplifier or similar to and to assess the benefits. Joe, you've had a look at something, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I've trawled through umpteen different options, but a lot of the sound options you have to link to the system, and obviously that isn't an option because of the number of channels. So these voice amplifiers are standalone speakers that everybody wears with their own individual microphones. So you're only going to be projecting out into the room. It's not going to be fed through the system. I can't see. I can't. Possibly.
I'm so sorry, I brought it along and I was
Possibly.
shut down in flames. I do think everyone's pardon, but is this
Yes,
what you meant?
yes,
Is this
exactly.
what you meant? And current price, I picked mine up for £20 a few years ago, but
Is this the one, Jane, you used for the quizzes?
yeah. And you talk into it like that.
Yes.
Is that
That's it,
That's
yes.
the sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was told it was not any good, but I wanted
Well,
to.
it's fine for an ear, but it won't get onto the system. That's the problem. You got a completely separate system.
Yeah, but
No.
no.
I think, Jane, it's definitely, it's louder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So why don't we do a trial run tonight?
Shall I sit with it on?
I think it would be a really good idea.
It would. Very good.
And then we can get people to wave badly at us from home.
Yeah.
They can
Let's
hear
say
us.
yes or no. It means you've got to speak now. There we go.
So,
My concern is feedback, but the thing is, I think it's important to keep it turned down unless. But does that work for people in here?
Much better.
I think you just got to keep them apart, your microphone and the sound.
so we're looking to assess the benefits. Shall we leave that one for now and see how this goes? I'll move on to the next one. Decision whether to adopt the proposed 2023 grant awarding policy. I think we've gone through this and I don't think there's any issues with it. Has anyone else got anything to say? No?
That's updating the 2018.
Yeah. I mean, it's fairly similar. The only thing I would say about it is the The actual form, there's quite a lot of information to go on there. It's pretty much the same as the one I'm having to fill in for trying to get grants for the Playing Field Association, but there's nothing wrong with it. But maybe we can add a note that possibly there'll always be someone available to help, if they, with filling it in.
One thing, sorry.
Go on.
Go on. I haven't got the thing with me now, but what I did look through, you've got up to £250, and from £250 it should be up to £249.90 or £250. Else you'll be you got one figure for up to and from. And the other thing was, it seems a lot of rigmarole. We are a caring, or I'd like to think we are a caring parish council. For anybody who wants the grant up to £250, if it's decided so, it just seems a lot of rigmarole for small little groups to have to fill all that in what is required. I'm easy either way, but it just, if we're a caring council...
That was my initial thought, George, I have to say, but looking at it now, to be honest, a lot of them would be left blank. It's really the same as a letter without having to string a load of sentences together. It's just, address, telephone number. I reckon it's okay, and if we're here to help fill it in, once they've had it filled in once, it's almost a carbon copy next time. I'm for it anyway.
Yeah, fair enough, I'm for it.
Everyone, yeah? Good. Decision regarding the implementation of a new parish council Facebook page.
Well, I think we've discussed previously. This Facebook page is actually attached to Pat's own Facebook page, so we do need to move it away. We were trying to do it in conjunction with the website. Now the website's taken longer, but I think in fairness to him and to kind of start fresh, we probably do need to put a parish council Facebook page together. It's not going to be that much different. It's just going to be separated from Pat's own.
So all the comments on the parish council Facebook page pop up at poor old Pat, do they?
Well, he's connected to it and he's still an administrator because obviously it's his page.
Oh, okay.
So
right. Oh, he doesn't want that, does he?
So every time somebody wants to join it, he'll get a notice, as well as I'm an administrator as well, but he'll get those pop-ups every time.
But can't he be taken off it anyway? Can't he, as long as there's another administrator, can't he leave the group? Doesn't have to necessarily.
It's his.
He set it up.
Okay.
He's sort of like the owner.
Yeah. So I think he's stuck with it. So.
I think as well, and Joe knows we've discussed this, is that I know it's not for everybody Facebook, but there is for a lot of people here in the village. And I think there was some confusion about, I think there's another Buckland Brewer Parish Facebook page, which you don't have to ask to join, and then you've got the Facebook page parish that you do have to ask to join. And I think if we sort of make it into our parish council, where people feel it's a safe environment to join, be able to ask questions, and we could have a couple of people who moderate it and administer it, that there's any sort of silly nonsense, it can be stamped on or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But with the moderator, you sort of censor it before it actually goes on.
Yeah,
So.
I'm a moderator on quite a few groups, so and an administrator also. So you could, for instance, if Joe put something on there, she could cut out the comments, so there's no comments to go on there. But again, with the moderator, you can warn people, and they're given a list of rules before they join. Blah blah blah.
We don't want anything obviously going on there that's abusive or offensive to anyone.
No.
Sorry, can I just ask, being ignorant on this subject, when I, Joe or Wendy kindly put things on when I got large equipment going up and down the road, whatever, is that the sort of thing that would go on that first page?
Yeah, I think so. I think that'd be useful. I mean, if that's what you would like as a...
Well, I've been doing it through Joe and through Wendy, who kindly put it on something. I have nothing to do with it.
That goes on the web page, but
yeah, sorry,
more places we can actually put it, the better, isn't it?
Fine.
I mean, I have
to
put that
reach
on
everyone.
Facebook
Thank you.
because,
Yeah, you said you had,
yeah,
thank
so
you.
that's gone on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I think if we have it on the parish council, and what we can do is link the community page with our parish council page, so people are aware of it. But it is useful as well, George, that those sorts of things go on there, definitely, 100%.
Everybody sees it.
Well,
don't they?
Thank you.
that sounds to me like everyone is in agreement.
Great.
It's good.
Okay. This is for the allotment people. Agreement of a date for the next allotment inspection and allotment meeting.
How soon do you want to get together is the basic question. I mean, it's not desperately urgent. You can wait until the new year if you like, but it would be good to get something in the diary.
Well, I'm up at the allotment most of the time, and I have to say I wander up and down, and they are looking good, to be fair. It might be worth maybe looking in the spring to do a proper... Do you want to do one sooner?
No.
To be honest...
It's in your opinion,
To-
there's nothing,
yeah.
No point in over.
To be honest, Jane, everybody's putting their allotments to bed at the moment,
Yeah, exactly.
and there's not a lot to see. So but I think probably springtime would be a better time to look at that.
Yeah.
Do you?
How about an allotment meeting? Do you want to wait and do it in conjunction with that? And then report on the inspection
I
at
think,
the same time?
I think that, yeah.
Yeah, happy with that? Okay, fine, thank you.
As you're on allotments, can I just ask, I'm not quite sure, does each allotment holder have to trim the hedge behind his allotment, and do they trim the top of the hedge as well? Who's responsible for the hedge trimming of the hedge around the whole allotment?
Are you talking behind our...
I'm talking about
onto Black Horse?
the hedge on the Black
Yeah,
Horse and
yeah.
down the side.
Yeah, personally, I do my own hedge, and I do the one that actually comes off on the other side as well.
You may do yours, but who, just, I don't understand.
I
Who is supposed to
I can
do
answer that.
The
All right,
allotment,
thank
the
you.
I
allotment
can answer it. It's in the terms and
Yeah.
condition that you cut your own hedge.
hedge.
But I have argued in the past that that's a lot to ask for some of those allotment holders. You know, some of them are aged, the fences are getting high, or the hedges are getting high. I wonder if it's something we should look at, but at this stage it is the responsibility of the allotment holder.
And what, and is all the paths down beside the allotment holder, I presume that is half one side, and I'm being nitpicking, I just like to know. Half is one side, half is the other side.
You mean that the path that goes down?
Down between each allotment?
I think everyone just does their own.
Right. Only on the hedge, if you want, and the hedge that butts my property, I can have the hedge trimmer leaning over and do the top on the allotment side if you want to. I haven't dared do it.
Well, that would be
before now.
really useful,
I
to be
think
fair.
Lynn Sneed
That'd be
would be
brilliant.
eternally grateful.
Yeah.
I think
I know Jim Slocum always comes across the top, and we just keep the... I think we've got somebody here who's got an allotment down the other side, Lynn, and we all keep the other bits. And same with the path, we all keep each other's paths.
Everyone's very...
Yeah, so it's only, there is a cost risk assessment, health and safety issue of it, that if you see the hedge trimmer going, get the hell out of the way, will you?
Well, it makes enough noise. I mean, to be honest with you, the allotment holders are very, very proud of their allotments, and it, you know, as Haynes said, you know, and it looks really good up there, you know.
If I could just butt in,
Sure.
Chair, the chappie at number 1, he's got a hell of a job.
Yeah.
And
That's Kevin's not.
the roadside at number 1
Yeah.
really does need having a go at. He was out there the other day, and he's had tons of stuff coming off.
I know,
And
it's a
I
difficult one.
thought, oh, poor chap, you know.
Yeah,
I suppose because he's got the side.
He's
as
got
well
the
as
side
back.
and the back.
Yeah.
George is saying he's quite happy to do right
Yeah.
down the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's just somebody to go across the top
Yeah,
at the road.
he has got an awkward one. It is on the
Yeah.
road, you know, the roadside by the gate going in.
Well, if you want me to, I'll have my man do it when he's passing.
You know, George, if you're happy to do that,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Right.
everyone will be
Leaning over.
grateful.
We will
I can
all
do it
be
for
very
you.
grateful, thank you.
Yeah,
It would look lovely and tidy.
yeah.
You're a good man, George. He'll be very pleased. He's got a lot to go through at the moment. Right. Oh, again with allotments here, decision whether to undertake an exercise to gauge potential demand for additional allotments by asking parishioners to register their interest. I think this came from you, Sally. Do you want to talk about it?
I was quite impressed with the allotments, as I said last time. I think as the village is growing quite dramatically, really, and in this day and age, we know we're all about mental health, well-being, and everything else. And I just think it'd be a really good experiment just to ask the village, even if they were to email the clerk or reply on Facebook or something, an interest, just to gauge an interest to see if there's anybody else out there would like an allotment. But also, you know, it's something that will just help people in general, I think. And I just think it's important as well with the cost of living. So I just wonder if it's something we can just look into, just asking the question initially before we go any further, you know, before we actually do anything about it. Because if there isn't any interest, there's no point in even looking at it.
How many's on the waiting?
6 at the minute.
6 at the moment.
One's dropped off.
So does that stay pretty constant then?
I don't know. It seems to have fluctuated a bit, but in the last couple of years, I would say it's been that sort of level fairly consistently.
Okay.
Well, just for a second.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's worth it. And bearing in mind that, you know, if you extend across the Black Horse Field, you have to give at least a year's notice.
Yeah, but I was thinking, and Dave came up with a really good idea about having it at the other end of the village to support that end of the village.
Yeah.
So people down with the new estate.
Good point.
That has been, I believe that's been talked about in the past.
You still have to give Ray a year's notice though, but yeah, I mean that's something to decide. But yeah, initially.
When you say the
put
other end of the
something
village,
out
where? Sorry, Chair.
there. Cock Pheasant, that's the last.
Yeah,
field.
because that's something that when we come on to kind of talking about like a referendum or getting people's views, I think we ought to kind of consider also that the field down there, which has been kind of allocated for social housing, but there's no reason if we tried to do that, we could have some of the field for allotments.
But certainly for now, I think gauge interest. Okay, well, thank you. Decision whether to undertake a formal tender for the tenancy of Hymns plot. Hymns.
I think the jump ones.
Jump one. 106.
I've ticked the wrong one, that's why. Sorry about that. Okay, 106. Decision regarding the creation of a field subcommittee and or assignment of associated roles and responsibilities. This came up, I think, the last meeting or the one before, where we're looking to have a separate, or someone suggested a separate field subcommittee. At the moment, we've got the allotment subcommittee, and it used to be fields and allotments. It's just looking into whether we have a separate one for fields, or to actually put them together and keep it as fields and allotments. Any thoughts?
I personally, I think it should be split. I agree with Phil.
Yeah. I'm just concerned about the amount of workload and the separate committees we're creating for ourselves, I suppose. I understand all the reasons why it should be split, but if we split it, can we honour it? Have we got enough people to be able to honour yet another committee? And you know, it costs money to hold the public meetings, etc., etc.
One question I've got is how often how often do they have to be inspected, etc.?
Realistically, the only thing that needs to happen is field inspections, because you can bring all of your observations back to the main council meeting. You don't have to have a separate meeting for the sake of it. So from a practical point of view, that is the only thing that needs to be picked up somewhere. So it's just working out where that sits and whether that could sit with allotment, you do allotment and field inspections, or whether you have a separate group doing fields.
As Hen said, I would guess you wouldn't inspect them as often as you would allotments. No. Maybe every 6 months?
Annual.
Or even annually?
Yeah, I don't think you need to do it more than annually.
Right.
Could that be done as a working group rather than a committee? If it is inspection, making sure obviously you've got to make absolutely sure that it happens. But do you need a formal committee to do that, or can it be done by a working group and your working group?
It's really going to be a case of a couple of people walking around together with a tick box.
So it's a working group, really, isn't it?
And then reporting back to the council. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the same people every time, does it?
No, and if you've got a working group, then you're not hidebound by a manual, is it?
And as long as we let the field tenants know in advance, isn't it?
I mean, could we just have it in the diary with you, Joe, and you bring it up at a meeting and just say, look, we need to do a field inspection. Have we got any volunteers? Who's going to go?
Yeah, you can.
Could we do it that way?
If you
That's what we've done before.
Then,
Does that sound reasonable?
Could I just ask, I mean, I think it needs to be a little bit more than just walking around the fields, because I, for one, don't know where all the fields are.
Oh, yeah, we've got that.
And I would like to see a more detailed approach to what's going on.
You've been working on a map, haven't you? I think you're going to get your wish.
I've got loads of information. It's just a case of trying to pull it into a sensible format so that it makes sense.
But this is where I thought if there was a working party committee, whatever, they could help you.
Well,
the same as the governance
if somebody
group.
wants to volunteer for that, that'd be fun. But yes, I have got all the information now.
Sorry, I missed that.
I was just going to say we need to have a report, and
Yeah,
if
if
there's
we
something
find
wrong with a
something.
field, then it needs to be gone over the next time the field's checked, because things will get missed if it's different people checking the field year on year. So I just think it's like if something's not right
Good
with
point.
a field, it needs to be documented, and then the next time there's an inspection, if it's different people, then they can check on that as well, and I think that would be the best way forward, really.
And you can have a map here now, so Phil can see where all the fields are.
Well, I think it'd benefit everyone to have one
Yeah,
in their file.
Is the one that we've got isn't updated? Is it a, you've got a better one?
That's the most modern map
Oh,
that
it looked like it was
exists
done
that
in
I've found.
1066.
There are very historic ones that are actually better versions, but they've got different numbers and different names and what have you. I'm just pulling it all together so as it's in a format that's legible, really.
RH Hickson Co would have a map.
I have asked.
It's just an
Andrew.
ordinary OS map, and you put circle around the field.
Yeah,
and
that's
you're on it.
what I've asked for. I'm waiting for them to come back with it for me. Yeah.
Good, thanks. Right, so what do we want to do then?
Yeah.
Have a separate...
Yeah, but with a folder like Sally said.
Yeah? So we're going to have a separate working party? Is that what you want?
Yeah, I think so.
And I think do it between meetings. So Josie's right, the field inspections are ready. We need a party to go out and check all the fields before the next meeting. I think that would be
Okay, let's just have a show of hands for a working party. Let's do it. Done. Yeah, right. Good.
Yes.
Good.
Which one am I on then? No, it's all right. The formal tender, back to the decision whether to undertake a formal tender for the tenancy of Hims Plot, or Hims Peace. I'd say yes. I mean, we want an income from a field that's doing nothing at the moment.
Well, do we need to? I mean, it's kind of almost like a nature reserve at the moment, isn't it? And it should stay like that, really.
Is anyone using it? You know, do people go in and?
You can't get in there.
Well, we could. I do think that in the past we have kind of cleared the gate a bit so people can go in. Father used to keep a pig in there.
You'd like to leave it as it is. Anyone else?
That's my inkling as well, really.
Can I play devil's advocate then? We have got a young couple that lives in the village who are starting out with farming. They've already rent one of our fields for their sheep. They've got pigs, which they've had to go out of the village to rent a field. They're living here in Buckland Brewer Parish. They're trying to get themselves off the ground, and I think this would be a really good chance if they won the tender to be able to farm it.
I mean, yes, it would have to be either tender or...
Well, it's got to be tender. Yeah, absolutely.
You've got opposite poles there, you know, a nature reserve, or pigs would just ruin it. So that's something to consider.
If they're intent on putting pigs there, they'll have to put edge very strong netting all the way around. The only thing a pig wants to do is to get out.
Yeah.
So he'll be everywhere. It's going to cost a horrendous amount of money. It's a hugely steep field. If you want it cleared, that's the best thing you can do is put the pig in there, because within 6 months the whole thing will be cleared. You won't have a bug or an insect or an animal left in there.
I mean, you've also, I mean, obviously all the trees and that will have to be cut down, or
The pig will do that. The trees,
Well,
the pigs will do that.
but there's also a remains of a dump down the bottom with bottles, tins, cans, everything down there.
He's aware of that.
So you've got to be a bit careful with that.
So that was just Joe Public going and chucking it in, wasn't it?
Well, I think it's probably...
Yeah, it was just Joe Public.
I've been down there. I think you've been down there, and I know this person has been down there and looked, and he's willing to clear it and put all in. He's a hard worker, and he's willing to, and it would be useful for him because it's opposite where his sheep are.
Which side? Now I'm going to have to go with the OS map because there was a stream at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I always thought the boundary was the other. Councillor Mills would know, but I always thought the boundary was the other side of the stream. But there's equipment at the other side of the stream, so therefore the fence will have to be this side of the stream, and the boundary in the stream is the middle of the stream. So you can have a problem if you want to put pigs there and they want to drink from the water. It's not going to be easy, but you must. I'm not fussed either way, but all I'm telling you is a pig will get out as soon as anything else.
So, what do you think, Sally? Anyone else? What do you think?
I'm all for it.
I'd say it's worth
Well,
a
I
try.
like
I think it's worth trying. I mean, somebody can clear the field, but obviously we've also got to take into consideration that there is shepherd's huts the other side of the valley there,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah, they're new, aren't they?
Yeah,
Well, they'll be there soon.
Yeah,
I
so that
gave,
needs to be considered.
I gave Joe some
well.
telephone numbers of somebody that could go in with a mulcher and go in and clean it up a bit. Do you know what I mean?
He's quite willing to do all that himself.
He is.
Yeah. He's a hard-working lad, and he's got sheep that are opposite already, and I think he's willing to put the work in.
Well, it'd have to be open to everyone.
Of course it is. But
Yes.
he'd be happy to put in a tender.
I have to say, something Joe said a little while ago, a few meetings ago, about would it be nice to put some benches in there and have it as a nice area. I went down with a view to maybe having a look, tidying it up. I took one look at it and realised that it was a lot of work.
Yes.
It's a lot of work, isn't it? It's just brambles for the moment.
Yeah.
Several years ago, two parish councillors, I expect, with David Lloyd's time, there was a young man who wanted to do it. Anyway, he came in, with his teacher, pet truck, came in, cut the trees down, and never saw him after, and that's why it's grown up so much.
Well,
So-
do we agree then maybe that we should see if there's interest?
Yeah, first of all, if you get all this green nature and all the rest of it, which I've heard a lot about, so you want to decide whether you're going to, we have got other ground that he can go on or whatever when it comes up or when it compete for tenders. You want to decide whether you want your trees, you want everything else, whether you're going to let that go for nature, but you can tidy it up for nature, or you rent it out for income. So that's the decision as far as I'm concerned. But it has to be fenced. You cannot, if pigs are going in there, you cannot have easy, cheap fencing.
I think if he won the tender, he's aware of that.
Joe, based on the size of it, how much could we expect to as an income?
Well, that depends what people offer.
Well, okay, I'm just a comparison to other fields maybe. So you can't even give an idea. No, okay.
No. I mean, what I would say
How
though,
big is it?
half an acre, just under half an acre.
It's not massive.
It's not a very big field, and it's quite a funny shape, and it's quite steep. I mean, if when you get bids back, you can have a look and see whether that kind of meets what you would want to do with the land anyway. There's no
So
obligation.
we can still make a decision then?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, that's...
Yeah.
But I would, keep on. I would also suggest that we actually do not offer the parish council to do anything
No,
towards it.
no. Well, Hen said that Otherwise, it'll take us years to recoup.
Oh,
No, I
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. 108, decision regarding the steps to be taken to recover the Jubilee beacon. We have it back.
Yes.
well done, boss.
Yeah, it's back. It appeared in the field.
Somebody nicked it.
Yeah, it's been nicked again today. It appeared in the field yesterday, and I have to say there's some welding being done on it to make it more sturdy, and it's been repainted. So it's in good condition, and at this moment it's sat in my garden, and we'll look at, when we have the next field association meeting, we'll look to make a feature of it over there.
Sorry, Chair, I'm being a bit dopey here. 107, did we make a decision on that?
We didn't vote.
No,
We-
sorry, there's a very good reason
We
why
were going to,
I'm scribbling notes up.
the decision was that we'd look to see if there was any interest.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, thank you.
Interesting.
We're going to
Yeah. Sorry, I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Apologies, I should have asked for a
Yeah.
show of hands, but yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So what have we done? Sorry, I'm not. What have we done?
Joe is going to put that out and see how much interest there is and go for
Yeah.
tenders. And then at that time we can make a decision. If it's with someone, you know, if the tender's 10 quid a year, then we
Did you
won't.
say
But,
£10?
sorry?
Sold.
So we'll make a decision on whether it's worthwhile for the council.
I wish the young man good luck.
Yeah.
Pigs. Sheep's different.
Right. Industrial units. Deep breath. Decision whether to undertake public consultation during 2024 regarding proposals to dispose of parish-owned land for the construction of industrial units. Exact timing and communication methods to be agreed. But basically, we've said that we will put this out to the public for a vote. Whether it's about how we're going to do it.
Can I just say something? In answer to Mr. Stone earlier, consultations. I've done a lot of research on this, and it takes at least 12 weeks to even get a consultation up and running. So, like the chair said, we will be well into the new year before that starts. Plus the fact we've got to think that possibly there is a general election possibly next year, which could interfere with this. So these are all the factors, personally, I think we should be thinking about before we...
George, you want to say something?
Yeah, and I've forgotten. Sorry.
We'll come back. We'll come back. So really what we're here to decide tonight is how we... Do you want to jump in before you forget again?
George. Jane.
Go on.
Because we're going to have to decide whether we get the district council to kind of do a referendum, which is cost us a bit of money.
That's what I was going to say.
Or do we do it in a different way of actually asking, like we've done before, just send it out to all the population of the parish, really.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say.
Because you probably stand more chance of getting votes, people back, information back, than doing a referendum. You never know.
Cost is an issue as well. We've got to look at cost.
But we've also got to look at the fact that we have an elderly population, but we've also got a young population that would probably rather do things on the internet than anything else.
And couldn't we incorporate that with the, we were asking about the allotments, we could put that in there, could we as well?
I think the allotments need to be done sooner than that. We won't have time.
Right, no.
And do we, and like I was saying, do we mention a fact about the long-term plan that we've had to arrange social housing down in the Buckfield?
I think
if
we might as well do it, because we're going to have to do it. We can put as much as we like on there.
If we do that, then people can't say we didn't know naught about it.
Sorry,
Can you
brain,
keep those one stone, so?
George.
brain kitchen. We had council help, financial help with it started off in 2008 and we're still doing it. We had financial help twice from the council, I think. Councillor Pennington, is there any chance of any financial help with this?
No, I am the microphone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Just to say, yes, as Paul Vanstone, he is the Democratic officer. He will have expertise about your email with Jane as well today, but I haven't read it, so I'm sorry about that. I just had that one on this thing. So yes, we will ask, is what my answer to. I will support you to try and get some help, whatever you want to do with your consultation.
Yeah, I mean, I just go back to, it's a very old-fashioned way, but you know, you've got to be absolutely sure that you reach every person that is registered to vote in the parish, and that it is one person, one vote, and that every person in that household has the opportunity to vote. And I'm afraid, you know, the postal, we can do it ourselves because we've done it before, haven't we, David? I mean, you sat in a hall and we've been sitting there till midnight addressing envelopes, I know, but yeah.
We would need someone outside the village to coordinate it, wouldn't we, though, and count the votes. Absolutely. So that there's no question of any...
Last time we did that, in fact, what we did was we appointed a local solicitor who did all the counting for us.
Chair, if I could just say, we're deviating yet again. Decision whether to undertake a public consultation during 2024. That's what we're talking about. Do we... Are we going to have a consultation?
We've already said we're going to do that.
Right, that's the vote. We're chantering on about communication methods to be agreed later. We'll do that later. Can we just decide we're going to have a referendum, whatever, but we're going to do it?
Sorry, I disagree with Councillor Ainsworth completely with what he's just said there. You've got to discuss whatever for us to decide whether we're going to vote one way or the other on this. So, sorry, we can make a decision now, but I don't agree with the comments. I don't agree with the comments.
The motion is decision whether to undertake a public consultation during 2024 regarding proposals to dispose of parish-owned land for construction of industrial units. That is the vote.
Unless you know what you're talking about.
Excuse me, exact timing and communication method to be agreed later. Go on, Joe.
This one is just to crystallise what's been discussed at the last couple of meetings, where there have been lots of conversations about, you know, do we consult, do we not consult? And I think everybody has said it's one stage or another, yes, the council would like to consult with parishioners. So this is just putting a line in the sand to say, yes, at some point in 2024, assuming everyone does vote for that today, then that will happen. There's an undertaking that will happen. The exact method and the content and everything else will need to be worked through. It will take quite a bit of time to work through. Certainly I was involved in the update to the parish plan, and that took quite a considerable time to pull together. We did do it all in-house. We had different options, but it does take quite a long time to pull together. So as I say, this is purely about just setting that
so this is... So I misunderstood. When I spoke to you beforehand, I misunderstood what this was. So you're looking for a formal agreement that this is what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we going to consult or are we not going to consult?
Yeah. Okay. Then 4? Yeah.
And is that going to be for both bits? You know, the social housing down the bottom, or do we worry about that when we...
You can decide that once the method...
Okay.
You can decide on the content.
I would think we want to put as much as we can on there. Then we don't have to pay for it again.
Yeah. Well, it'll be quite a bit if you get cancelled.
Right, decision regarding payment of compensation to a field tenant due to outstanding repairs and remedial action. Now, this is something George has asked to go on here, but I believe Joe has got a letter from the tenant. I don't know whether you want to read that first or you want to speak first, George.
I just want to apologise. I should have brought it up before. I completely forgot about it. I was approached by the tenant and I said I would bring it up because we can discuss why or whatever. But I apologise. It was not dealt with previously.
Well, I've sent out the part from his email that actually said all the damage that had been done and the repairs that were outstanding. So hopefully everyone's had a chance to just have a quick look at those. So really it's just a case of, you know, how you want to present it.
Through Chair, sorry.
Can I ask a question? I'm a little bit confused. Why, obviously it's being discussed here at the Parish Council tonight, why does the tenant believe that he is going to get compensation? What?
Would you like to read his letter?
I've read his letter. Oh.
Can I just come in before that?
Yeah.
Back when there was a problem with water leakage and everything else, he had a hayfield in there. We were trampling all over it. I said to him, if you can let us get on with it for help, it's in June time when the drought was on, I said the allotments wanted water and then didn't get on it. Will you allow us to do whatever we got to do? I said, I will try and discuss and get some compensation for you if we do any damage on that. That's why it was done.
Would you like to read his letter to the council so that, you know, what he actually says?
Yeah, can
Or
do.
do you think it's not necessary?
Well, it's up to you.
I just that not everyone knows about
I've
it.
read about it. I've read the
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I've read the email.
Okay. So, do we think he should have compensation, or what are we talking about?
Yeah, how much are we talking?
Yeah, I do think he was very willing to let us in there and deal with it. And the big rut, where it's a big drip, his tractor gone in a few times and he had a bit of damage. That was caused by the leak. Well, it wasn't caused by the drain, whatever. It was caused by the leak, which our chairman here found and dealt with all on his own. Which, yeah. So I propose we give him some sort of offer for some sort of deduction on his rent.
My opinion on the damage of the trench sinking, it was not due to the leak. It was too far away from the leak, and the leak was too small to do that. I think what it was poor backfilling of the trench, and then the tractor went in there. So yeah,
it's still us.
Yeah.
It was what was it? What was it? Sorry, you're looking down. I couldn't see.
Backfill.
The trench wasn't backfilled or compacted properly.
Right.
The earth was probably just thrown in, and then the next time a tractor went over it, it just collapsed.
Right. From when did they dig it? You mean from when they put the pipe in?
When they put the pipe in, when they reinstated the trench, it probably wasn't compacted. But it's still damaged, and it's still there now.
I agree. I think he should have compensation, but I think there's got to be a lesson here that in the future we get outside contractors to do work. I think I've said that before, and that way we will have some comeback at outside contractors if damage is caused.
We all voted to do that earlier. Yeah. So
I'm a little bit concerned, George, that you did offer compensation on behalf of the council.
He didn't. He actually said that he would try
seek compensation,
and get some. But we got the vote.
Yeah, it's very difficult, isn't it?
Well, the job was done for
yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, the job is what's been done has been done. The lesson has to be learned. How much are we talking about?
Do we discuss figures? We don't, do we? Not.
You don't discuss it.
You can make a compensation figure if you want to. It's just not the rent, really.
It's what?
Not the rent.
Not the rent.
Just a figure.
I mean,
if you want to agree whether or not to pay compensation and then take the figure out of the public domain, you can do.
So we're just talking about the rut, isn't it? Because
it's damaged fencing as well.
Well, what would you consider as a reasonable compensation, George? I mean, it's
25 quid.
25 quid?
Yeah.
Well, I'll pay the 25 quid if it's going to end an argument. Jeez.
I was thinking you were looking at more than that.
Yeah, I was looking at more than that.
Sorry, George. Did you just say £25 compensation?
Yeah.
Oh.
Would he accept that?
I don't know.
So just for the record and the minutes, Councillor Hayward has said £25.
Sounds good to me. I don't know.
Okay.
Fine by me.
You happy that we go to him with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well done, George.
It's for the village, isn't it? The money's for the village.
What about,
Sorry, can I, yeah.
I was just going to say, £25 compensation, do we then go and repair the fence, or is that everything done?
No, whatever's got to be repaired, got to be repaired.
Okay.
Yeah. And also there is his other allotment, the fence, I don't know, we'll bring it up this time, Joe, or another time. The other field, there's fencing took down, and it seemed like the parish council said, we'd put it all up, it's not been done yet.
Yeah, there's a few things. There's the fence was cut. Yeah, there was some fencing removed, and there was also some brash that was burnt, and there's some reseeding needed.
Yeah, that's a different ballgame now you're talking.
Right.
Well, that was part of the letter,
That's
wasn't
part
it?
of the
And
whole
that's
thing,
why I
really,
was
isn't
saying.
it? Are you
Sorry,
talking?
that was part of the letter, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that's why I was saying to Joe to read the letter from Slocum, because what he was saying is that there was a fire on the ground to burn all the
What,
branches.
there?
Yeah, up at Blackfield.
Oh,
There was a big fire, and it scorched the ground, and there was no effort made to reseed it. That's what he said, although it has recovered.
Oh, I thought that was down his other field. Oh, right.
No.
Well, then I got that wrong, and you
Yeah, so he's
have to pay a bit more to get it done.
It's all done. It is all done. I mean, it recovered, didn't it? And I don't think he lost any crop.
I think you said about having it seeded.
It's recovered.
But it's recovered, yeah, it is recovered.
It's completely
so
recovered.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he lost production on it.
Can I just say, can we not compensate him more and get him to repair the fence? Because getting somebody to repair the fence might be difficult, and it might not be to his standard, and I just think it might be better to compensate him more and get him to do the repairs.
I
and
believe he
seeding.
said he would do it himself anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure he will. It's just that the council need to cover the cost.
Yeah, you want someone to cover the cost.
I don't know what the damage is, to be honest with you. I don't know how much
Shall
is
we go and have a
involved.
look?
Yeah, shall we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Allotment committee?
Yes.
Jane will get a wellies on.
We
So
can have a look.
as I made a mistake on what I was just reading the water pipe in the trench, if there's stuff burnt up there, that's a different compensation. That's a different kettle of fish, and I don't know what area he lost production on that or whatever. So that you told another kettle of fish from what I was talking about.
What happened, George, is that at the time the water was laid, that the parish council also cut the hedge at the same time. So all the wood was all left in the field. And the larger bits were cut up and taken away and used, but all the small branches were burnt up there in a big pile. And that's what the damage was to the field. Although it had already been cut, I mean, it was just on the stubble.
Well, then I don't know what I've been talking about. You know, didn't realise all that. So I suggest we have a discussion with him and just see what he says.
I mean, Joe, do you think you know what might be reasonable to help us?
That's what happened to the wood that was taken away.
I had some of it.
Right, that's right. I just wondered what happened to it.
I had some of it. Some went for various people had it, but yeah, I had some of it.
I did.
Yeah. We asked the chair at the time, and he said, "Yeah, it's only going to be scrapped. You can have it."
So, to take this forward then, you'll have a look at the field, have a conversation with the tenant and work out what actually does need doing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then come back to the council with a
That's what I would think now. I didn't realise all this ago.
Do you want to arrange a meeting with him?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who wants to go along.
Yeah, you want to?
I'd like to
We don't
go.
need too many of us.
Phil, we want to go as well and know what's happening.
I'd like
If
to
I'm
go.
around, that's the only problem I've got.
Sally?
If I'm not working.
Kath said yes.
George, just phone up who you can, and we'll come along. I'll come along if necessary. So we just go back on that one then, about the compensation.
Sorry.
You'll make a note of that.
Sorry, Clark.
Right, 111. Decision regarding proposed changes to the Personnel Subcommittee. This is one that I brought forward. A couple of meetings ago, we put a subcommittee together for personnel, and we have 5 members. There's you, those 3 there, me and Jane. And Jane and I have had a conversation about this away from the meeting, and we believe, and I hope you all agree that 5 is a bit daunting for the clerk to face.
I agree.
We think, you know, it's too heavy and it's just not fair.
May I just add to that, Chair? Is that okay?
Well, I was just going to say
sorry.
go on, if you want to say something.
What I was going to say was that Councillor Hayward and I were doing the How to Be a Good Employer course the other evening, and the best practice and recommendation that came out of that was that we're a little council, not a big council, so we don't need to be mob-handed, but what their recommendation is actually you can't have a subcommittee without a committee. And with a parish council of our size, you might want the larger committee to be 5, but in terms of interfacing with your employees, you probably only want 3.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. You took it away from there. So what we're looking to do is just have an interface for interview points of just 3, and Jane and I want to back away and leave it to the rest of you. So we'll still be there if you need to talk to us at all, but we'll have no interface at all with Joe. Everything will be done by you. And so I propose that it's an amendment to the existing.
Can I just ask, is this advisory or is this the, what do you call it? It's advisory. Yes. Thank you.
So I'm proposing that we make an amendment to that policy before, or that vote before. Jane, you second? Anyone second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Sorry.
All second? Everyone, show of hands for? Oh, that's unanimous then. Good. Uh, 112, decision regarding responsibility for ongoing village scene updates. Historically, the clerk has done updates on the village scene, but it's not part of her job description, so it's additional work.
No, is that okay if it hasn't always been the clerk, it's been sort of custom and practice between various members of the parish council without an assigned duty, and it just seems to me that perhaps if people are happy with this, on a best endeavours basis, I will just happily be the village scene correspondent, if you like.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jane, but you should be letting me finish. I'm just doing an introduction and then I would pass to you. Otherwise I might as well not be sat here. Well, I think she said it. So basically you've taken all the wind out myself now, I don't know what I'm saying. To take some of the workload away from the clerk, who already has to deal with the minutes, Jane is volunteering to write the notes for the village scene.
When you say notes.
Pardon?
When you say notes.
What did you see the last lot that was in the village scene?
Yeah.
So Jane wrote those.
Oh, right.
Right. So it's that sort of thing. So she'll write a notes that basically say what happened in the council meeting, but they're not minutes. It's like she's acting as a reporter for the village scene, if you like. Any comments from anyone?
I thought it had to be somebody that wasn't on the council, that was all. No, it can't be anybody, can it? It can be anybody.
I mean, you think it's got to be accurate because it's got to match the minutes, so, you know.
Well, yeah, because...
Anyone else? Any thoughts?
Obviously, people should just be aware that before I push them out the village scene, I've run them past the chair first.
Yes, yeah, the last time they weren't just sent off.
No.
I saw them and looked at them and just checked them against the draft minutes, if you like, and what I saw. It doesn't have to be me. It's just to make sure it's going out okay.
Could it not come out to the whole council?
No reason why not.
Because obviously,
no reason why not.
If that's okay, because I just noticed some of, and this is no disrespect, sometimes your own wording might be different from somebody else's, and it'd just be nice if maybe councillors and maybe some people aren't interested, but I personally would like to see what.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not.
I'll just send them. It's just that obviously one appreciates village scene is working against a deadline, which is so work at speed sort of thing.
So are we happy? Are we happy to take that away?
Sorry, can I just ask then? What happens if no, you're going to go through the parish council? What happens if you disagree with what's been done, said?
Well, that's a good point.
Well, they're notes, they're not minutes, and anyone here can write them.
Yeah.
You know, the alternative is for them to have them.
Yeah. But you could disagree with them if Joe. The point here is that it's just taking the workload away from Joe and letting someone else do them. Because we've agreed we're not putting minutes on there.
Do you
draft
listen?
minutes.
Sorry, Richard. Sorry, butting in. Do you take it from the YouTube, or is it just notes? You're just taking notes now.
This is why I'm sitting here frantically scribbling.
Okay.
Well, if anyone has got the village scene home, have a look at it, because what was written in there before was written by Jane.
Yeah, it's the rule is about 750 words, so I think the important thing is that not everything is going to go in there.
Okay. And this, most importantly though, Joe, does this suit you? To take that away from you, give you something else not to worry about. Okay, good. So are we happy with that?
Yeah.
Good. Right, 113, a decision regarding contingency for the clerk and parish records. This is all to do with passwords and access to information that Joe would have if anything, heaven forbid, happened to her. So we're looking at an envelope possibly with passwords, sealed envelope, looked after, never to be opened unless something happened. It's just a contingency should we ever need to access information and Joe's not available to do it because something's happened.
Has this been done in the past?
No, I asked, funny enough, I asked Jim that, and he said, shame on us for not doing it, but we didn't do it.
There was an arrangement because Pat handed me over a hard drive to save everything on. So there was that. I don't think it was ever exchanged with any council members. He just updated on an ad hoc basis, but it was held.
But
so
it would need to be password protected though, wouldn't it? You can't just have a hard drive sort of kicking around.
Well, it didn't actually leave his premises.
Yeah, okay.
So, and I've continued doing that, just holding the records on a flash drive. It is sealed up in an envelope because obviously if Paul needed to hand it over, you wouldn't want him to have access to it.
No.
I have put the passwords in as well, but I do that on a monthly basis. Before every monthly meeting, I download the latest versions of all the files, so that if anything happened to the laptop or anything happened to me, then those records can be recreated instantly.
Okay.
Now, if you want a councillor to hold on to that envelope every month, then that's absolutely fine, because then at least it is, belt and braces. But it's just a bit of a faff to keep,
It's
exchanging
just that, all these courses I attend, but both the finance and the good employer both say it's really mandatory to have the passwords absolutely sealed up and not interfered with, but kept on at least one separate set of premises. I mean, God forbid if your house went up in flames or something like that, and that is what is being said, it's best practice about mandatory now, really.
Whoever's looking after the envelope, if it is an envelope, then it's that they wouldn't be opening it. If they do it, they're serious trouble. And it doesn't matter who.
What was that last bit you said?
They'd be in serious trouble, wouldn't
Yes.
they? If you open
I can
something.
think of better things to do in my time.
Yeah, well, I don't mind. I mean, who holds it? I don't. Someone who lives their life very safely.
Don't look at me.
Do we agree that we should have this in place, a contingency plan? Yeah.
I think it should be. Yeah.
Yep, makes sense, doesn't it? Right, we're on to members' reports now. Members' reports are reports, and they're not up for discussion, and they shouldn't be a topic from an agenda, really. If you want something added to agenda, then it should be done before the next meeting rather than ask for it here. So it's really about members, what's happened, you know, something to report to the council, everyone, and it should be fairly brief.
Fair enough then. I'm off to the records office in Barnstable on Friday to have a look at the old documents in the parish, what put in by the parish council. So we'll see what I find out.
Okay.
The other thing is the Barclays mandate. I was going to go whilst I'm in Barnstable, go into Barclays. Do I need to take anything then?
I fell foul of
Oh,
all this.
God.
You know, lots of angry faces. I'll explain. Basically, you download the app. Don't do it on your tablet, do it on your phone, because I tried it on my tablet and got very angry and ended up going into Barnstable, speaking to a lovely lady in there who got my phone out, downloaded the app and did it all on there. Well, I could have done her at home. So it is easy to do it. And Philip, who is a bit older than me, managed to do it in 2 minutes. So it's fine.
Joe, who still needs to do the...
Me.
Does George need to do it?
Yes.
Oh, I'll help you with it then.
You will?
Yeah, I've done mine.
Oh, yeah.
And Phil will help you. Phil's done it. Phil said it took him about 10 seconds.
I've had his shit.
He managed it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, we can do that.
All right then. Yeah, because the last time I tried to do it on app, I nearly kind of lost the will to live.
Yeah.
The last bit is, I was approached by a member of the community with a kind of request, really, that we almost look at kind of how do we give support to those who are vulnerable, those in our community, and it's looking at doing all those things that people do anyway, but almost doing it and almost like setting up something, an organisation, something to do it. Now you've heard the expression written up on the back of an envelope. Well, I've got an envelope here with things written on. What I'll do is I'll share it with Joe and Richard, and you can have a look and see what you think. I think it would be a nice thing to do, but I think in reality it would be a lot of work. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so that's it.
Mine's very quick, you'll be happy to know. 18th of October, we're starting our surgery. The wonderful Dave and I will be there. Wednesday here, I think it's when the coffee morning is on. And I will be there between 10:30 and 11:30. Thanks, Joe, for putting me down from 10 till 12. But 10:30 to 11:30.
I might get a cake.
Will you? Okay. 10:30 to 11:30. Still.
Hi, I had a parishioner. He came, I've got a letter here, I'll let you have it. Basically, he just says that he goes out and takes his dog, him and his wife takes his dog for a walk early in the morning, and he says that people that are going out of the village around between 6:30, 7:30 are going way too fast, and then coming into the village at 4:30, and they're speeding out of the village then, and he's just wondering whether or not he could suggest perhaps free speed bumps or something, just trying to slow down, because he said it's dangerous, and he just said that there was a cat or something was killed at the top of the village or something by the allotments this week, and he just said in a minute it could be a child, an elderly person or something, but he just said it's, it's bad.
Can I just say, speed bumps, sorry Jane, speed bumps, I'm sad to say, and from my previous job as a police officer, is that you virtually have to have fatalities before highways will even look at that.
We've met this community, and George will remember very well back that all of these avenues have been pursued with highways, Devon County Council, until people are sick of it. But yes, I mean...
Can I stop you? We shouldn't be discussing this. It's a good idea.
Yeah,
We have discussed it before, I think, but if you want it to go onto an agenda to discuss it again, then
Yes.
bring
Could
it
we
up
do that?
again.
Could we do that?
Yeah.
No. Yes. Send it. Yeah.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thanks. Do you want
No,
to say
no,
anything?
Young man,
right,
nothing?
No. I shall pass.
Pass over, Jane.
sorry, I've got a few. I always have no time. Couple of suggestions from parishioners. A parishioner suggested that perhaps we could have a banner for a parish council meeting here tonight. Obviously, we need the consent of our host, the chapel, and ownership of the task, but it might be a simple quick win. Perhaps we could put that on an agenda to discuss. Also, I'm getting feedback that the bus is getting more use, and another parishioner idea, increasing number of dwellings in the extended Hill Park area, that maybe there is scope for an extra bus pickup in the Hill Park area. Unless this council has an objection, what I was thinking of doing was contacting David Ovenden of Devon County, who was always my first contact during my website piece, and just remind him of the increased housing that's being built in the community, and asking him in the future, has Devon County Council got us on their radar for further scope for the bus and another pickup. Then feedback from the parishioners, and this is just, please, in case you don't shoot the messenger, but in the last 10 days, I've had 2 phone calls about the proposed experimental surgery due to take place next week. The second was on Saturday, far more robust and far longer than the first, but the message was very much the same in each call. By custom and practice, and I was advised by the caller that also by definition the coffee morning, although open to all, whilst the takings are for church/chapel purposes, constitutes a church-chapel event. It was said to me that any formal parish council presence could be regarded, and I'll put it politely, an improper use of the event. I did say to the caller, this hadn't occurred to me, and I said that I was sure that no offence had been intended, and that I would raise it here today. During the second call, I did ask whether the chapel had been contacted with the same message, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this actually pushed all the wrong buttons. There was a degree of distress in the call. The answer was, well, not yet, maybe not at all, but this was on the parish council, who deemed entirely at fault for not having the integrity and sensitivity to recognise that as things stand, in an official capacity, they have no right to be there. On behalf, well, you know, I just ask for this to be borne in mind when we're discussing future surgeries, because we do, of course, as everybody knows, have a statutory responsibility to acknowledge and respect all views, I suppose. So I'll just leave that with people.
Sorry, I'm a bit bamboozled there. You're saying that you've had 2 phone calls?
I've had 2 phone calls.
From people who are
objecting to parish council's official presence at what they deem to be a church event.
all right.
As I say, I am just the conduit of the anger.
Okay, thank you, Jane. That's fine.
They're angry.
That's fine.
They're extremely angry, yes.
Sorry, what are they actually angry about? That we're
That they feel, basically, they feel that church space has been violated. Can I move on?
a church space is being
space.
violated.
The church event has been violated, is their view.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. You've reported that.
I
Yeah.
got one phone call on the parishioners, this is a separate subject, another parishioner stopped me in the street, and some second-hand feedback. Just advisory to our public that anyone parking in Tuckers Park, please be sure that you're authorised to do so, and that you display any authority that you've got in blue badge, red disc, driving organisation permit, etc. Somebody did ask me about something, and I said if they needed temporary permission to park there, that perhaps the best route would be to contact the housing organisation, Westwood Housing, to see what, if anything, can be arranged. There have been issues with the past with malicious behaviour, and it looks like this might be raising its ugly head again. Moving on again, the rural report, thanks Joe, the BT digital upgrade, I must admit I buried my head in the sand about this. Out of our control, but is this something that we as the parish council should know more about? I have had friends on Exmoor lose their landlines as a result of this. I mean, is there any more information to be gleaned?
Not at the moment. I've just trawled around. It seems to be BT are pushing their customers to swap over quite quickly.
Yeah.
But so presumably the other providers will follow suit. But there's nothing else out there at the minute.
Okay. But thanks for that anyway. Right. Yes, I said that I've done this. How to be a good employer course. Very, very good. Just we should pat ourselves on the back. We were the only small parish there, mainly town councils, but the laws applied to us all, and we did well for being there, I think. And I think really that's enough. Yes, it is enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're go in a minute. What do you want to talk about
Oh,
that?
Chair.
Chair.
Just going back to the bus, I think we should have a bigger discussion about buses. I think I think we should be talking about other options that could be possible as well. Okay.
Do you want to message Joe outside the meeting and ask it to go on the agenda for next
I
time?
think we put it on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't talked about it for a long time, but I think we should.
Sorry, Joe, I missed out. I forgot. Friend back again. Yeah. Now I've got a yellow shovel and I've got a yellow jacket as designated snow warden. Now, Councillor Ainsworth wanted to know what it was all about. I can give a 10-minute spiel on it now, or put it on the agenda. But it's October now. I need one decision. I need while I'm at the moment snow warden until you get rid of me. Small bags, 25k bags of salt. I can get some of them free, but we've got to store them somewhere. I'm not going to store them. Whenever we got them, the school seems to nab some, and it can be put on the pavements around, but it comes, I can have a minimum of a tonne or half a tonne, which is 50 bags or 100 bags. Normally I'd have 1 tonne bag to go in the salt spreader when I decide that Devon County Council is not coming out, because they only come out after 3 days to villages like us, after 3 days of frost. So I've got to sort that out again for this coming year if you want me to do that. But I just need an answer, because I've got to get the order in by end of this month, because I've got a horrible feeling we're going to have a cold spell.
Can I just say something? That was decided that we'd only go for the large bags. Won't do any small.
No, but it's not.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
just go for the.
I missed it. Sorry.
Yeah, just go for the large ones, because we just don't have any storage capacity for others.
That's fine.
So just stick with bulk.
All right. Do we need to inspect the salt bins? And did we ought to put another one?
I do that. I do that with George.
But
so.
did we ought to put another salt bin down at Hill Park?
If we can get the council to do it. If we.
Is there one by the school?
Yeah, there is. Also, we could do with a salt bin down the bottom by Cherry Bell, because that gets really slippery both ways, especially going up towards Bearer, and that road is used a lot. There isn't one there.
Do you have a contact?
Yeah, I will go.
We put that on the agenda, Joe, for next time to do that.
I'll ring up the snow people at the highways, whatever.
I don't know.
Where would you suggest putting it to? Because it is a big yellow thing and it's going to go in the way.
Nowhere.
So that's all right then, is it?
On that bank was Council Bank, isn't it?
Yeah, put it there. Right.
Would you put it at the top of the hill where the field is? Where
Put it on the agenda.
I'll put it on the agenda.
So coming up from
The council will decide where they're going to put it. We've just got to ask for one.
Yeah, sure.
the one way.
So it's just the one extra pin, yeah?
Sorry, Sally, you jumped you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Coming up to the village, because there's a lot of trees overhanging. That's not the problem coming this way. It's going way towards Holsworth.
I've seen a couple of broken and hanging down over there.
Yeah. The other way seems to be, as soon as you get up that hill under the trees, it's going.
What do we need to do? Contact highways on that?
We just need to do with the bin there.
No, you're talking about,
I thought you were talking about the trees overhanging.
No. The
A second Snowbeam.
Yeah, second.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Second snow, where's the first one going?
Bill-
We've got
Bill-
one at Cherry Lake.
Sorry,
Cherry Vale.
I'm getting confused of where they are. I assume you meant down by where you,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cleve, one at Cleve and one at...
Cleve.
No, just that one.
Just one at
just
Cleve.
one.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Well, the talk was having one at Hill Park, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought someone said Hill Park.
You want one at Hill Park?
That's why I was getting confused, because I thought someone... Yeah.
Where are you going to put that, in the car park? Better ask the village hall.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'd have to talk to the village.
That's where that's asked the village
Okay.
hall.
Okay. Right, over to me. I've got nothing other than to say that I'm not here for the next 2 parish council meetings. I'm away, so George will be your point of contact, and we'll be running the show, and we're working with Joe. I'm like you, George. There was something else I was going to say, and it's gone. Obviously wasn't important.
No.
Right. Okay. Planning applications, there are none.
Chair, anything for George? Sorry, I must apologise.
You need to go. Sorry, I was going to come to you now. You.
Not at all. Anything for Norwich? And I'll take any questions and take it back to Norwich.
Just
If you've got questions that you
money
want
for the referendum, or whatever you call it.
I'll do that, yeah, certainly.
Anyone else? Anyone in the public like to say something to Councillor Pennington? No? No, no worries. Joe, have you got something to ask? No? Everyone's had their
I
chance.
apologise.
No, sorry, I should have come to you sooner.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Take care. My mobile phone gets lost money in time. Thank you very much.
Thank
Good evening,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Right. So there's no planning applications, so we're just down to accounts now, Joe.
Switch this on. Total balances then, £68,463.90. Of that, 26,834 is in the general account. The rest is either Thornhill, Headmore or savings account, and some of the savings is allocated for Thornhill Headmore as well. So that's what's there at the moment. There are only a couple of payments. Payroll for September, little bit higher this month because the laptop security software is included in that payroll sum. And there's an allotment deposit refund and payments in field rents and allotment rents. So that's all since the last meeting. I very quickly managed to pull together the Q2 summary. I'm not suggesting we go through this evening, and you probably can't read it on that screen anyway. But suffice to say, everything is on track. I'll provide more information and a proper summary, but at the moment there's a projected loss for the year end based on the budget. That was at the outset because we were expecting income of about 20, well just under 30,000, but expenditure of nearly 34,500. So there is a bit to make up there. It looks like everything will even out because there are some payments due in. Some of that money though will be for Thornhill Headmore maintenance. Obviously that will need to be saved for that. But there are some payments outstanding, and that's the money I did mention earlier. And there is a VAT payment outstanding as well, which is about another 5. So it's okay at the moment, but obviously we've still got some very hefty payments to come out for the remainder of the year.
The money we'll receive from the MAS, will that be the updated amount?
We will receive it in 2 tranches. It will be the pro rata payment in November, and then the annual payment will come in December. But the payment in December should be the new amount.
The new amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Did-
should
and I think circulated that they tried to say that we had to cut a path through, but that's all sold now. We haven't got any money to cut it, trim it up, because that was not in their, not our agreement to supply a path through, that was to do with them.
Cellnex have approached me again, but it just seems that there's a communication breakdown, so at the moment I'm not doing anything.
No, it's down to Hicks are dealing with it.
Oh, Hicks are doing it?
Yeah.
Arrangements, but I can't see that there's any liability on the council.
No.
Thank you, that's right.
And did this Tamar Trading, did you manage to get that sorted?
Yes, was it passed last time? I can get it signed off that we have an account with the, but was it, I haven't done it because I couldn't remember whether it was passed and signed by the parish council or not.
Right.
I'll come
So
down
still in
with you, George.
abeyance.
I'll come down with you if you like. And maybe we can have I don't know if we can have a care of address where everything can come to.
Sorry,
When we have when we've got an account, obviously they'll send details. Probably they'll send.
The chair, that's fine.
Well, it can do, but I might not be the chair next year. I'm thinking maybe.
I thought,
That's
sorry,
why
the
we
clerk,
change it then.
it doesn't, I thought it went to the parish clerk.
Well,
No.
I'm just thinking,
Yeah,
have we got another care of address that it could go to?
Well, just tell me where you want it.
PO box or something, so that can be collected. I don't know. I mean, maybe you don't want it coming to your house. I don't know.
No.
I don't have a problem with the correspondence coming to me, I just
Okay.
don't want the liability for any
Yeah,
debt.
fair enough.
No,
But-
Fair enough.
There's,
That'd be.
You know, that's the-
there's no liability. There's no liability from the clerk's point of view, which I've cleared with finance director at all.
Right. Okay, so we just want what it wants, and don't even need Joe's name. They just need Buckland Brewer Parish Council,
Yeah.
3 Hill Park, so and so. Care of the clerk, 3.
Or you can come to the chair,
Yeah.
or you can come to me. I don't
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Whatever you
That's
want.
all we want. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you,
You haven't got to fill that in.
you haven't got to fill that.
No,
in.
I think you spoke to someone who didn't realise the history. You can tear that up.
So if you don't want it, Joe, I will send to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, which do you want me to do? Or you think about it? Yeah.
I think that's everything. Is that all the accounts? There was one thing we talked about, assets, council assets. And there's a shortfall because of the laptop from the previous clerk.
Well, it's not a shortfall, it's just that the laptop was disposed of without it coming through the council.
Okay, well,
Where did that go? What do you mean?
it was gifted. Now, I'm going to ask David and George, because they would have been here. I certainly don't know anything about it. We understand that the old laptop was gifted to the old clerk without consultation to the...
I can't
No idea.
Yeah, so it's a loss of an asset, and that's the problem. You know, it's quite an expensive asset.
Where is the laptop?
It's been given, I think Andrew gave it to Pat. He gave it away. He said you can have it for services rendered. All we've got to do is not recover it, we've just got to minute it, the fact that happened.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't-
So he got paid, obviously, but then they gave him a laptop, or Andrew gave him a laptop.
Yeah, I think it was a
Right.
gesture
Right.
that maybe he didn't think
I
of.
see, I was just
You
trying
know,
to
he
get
just
it
said,
in
"Oh,
my head."
sure, you've
Right.
got that laptop. You've got personal information
So-
on it.
so
You might
did-
as well keep it, and the
If it was-
new clerk can have a new one."
Has it been wiped clean then?
That came in the correspondence, didn't it, Joe? I spoke to Pat, and he said there's nothing on there now that isn't available on the website. And Joe has asked me just to speak to him, just say, can he put that in writing, which I'll do.
Yeah. It's just because of the data protection, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. But there's nothing on there that isn't available on the website, other than maybe a couple of Part 2 meetings, which he's prepared to delete anyway.
Right.
But there's nothing sensitive on there. Right, that's the end. I'm thinking an hour and a half, not too bad. Thank you, everyone. Let's adjourn. I'll stop in the meeting.